Well, I'm here with Wild Kyle today. Say hi, Wild Kyle.
Hello.
We are going to Partridge Point. I just thought I'd show you what the road looks like on the way in here in case you want to come in. It is very bumpy, big holes, but they're solid bottom. So the only thing you have to really worry about is bottoming out if you have a low car. I'm in a Jeep, so I'm not worried. So it's a beautiful day today. What are you looking for, Kyle? What's your goal?
Well, my goal today would be a crinoid calyx or a nice blastoid or a trilobite. I'd take that.
Yeah, those would be my three goals also. I never have much confidence in myself, though, so I'm trying to have an optimistic outlook going into it, so more likely to find something. Beautiful day today. It's been somewhat rainy the last couple of days. Kyle and I have been hunting together, but today is looking really nice.
Yeah, it's perfect today.
This beach is just full of fossils. It's almost all limestone. You can see there's big bedrock right here. And as the ice breaks it up in the winter, freezing and thawing, the fossils pop out, so there's always new stuff to be found. So let's take a look at some of them. There's something right there. Not exactly sure what that is. I'm not a fossil expert. Kyle's better at fossils than I am. That's kind of his thing. So if you watch his video, you might learn more than watching mine. If you go up here in some of these smaller rocks, sometimes you see more stuff. So a lot of that's crinoid stems. Let's see if I can find a real clear crinoid. There's a cross section of a stem. There's all kinds of stuff in that one. Isn't that cool? It's just an ancient seafloor. This is Devonian period fossils, which are like, what are Devonian, like 360 to 390 million years ago?
I think the Thunder Bay limestone that's right here is right around 390 million years old from what I've read. So I think that's the tail end of the Devonian period, if I'm thinking properly.
And you don't find Petoskey stones here very often. Once in a great while you find one, but this is not a place for Petoskey stones. Lots and lots and lots of crinoid stems.
I almost wonder if this was deeper water here, so that's why there's not as many like reef corals, such as hexagonaria, aka Petoskey stone.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's my guess.
It's a lot of bryozoans, which I'll point out when I find one, but these are just fascinating to look at. Just imagine all that stuff falling down to the sea floor so long ago. Oops, slipping. I thought that was going to be a crinoid stem, but I don't know what that is. So these are crinoids. Crinoids are an animal. They look like a plant. They're called a sea lily sometimes. There's a long stem with a top on it called a calyx. And the calyxes are one of my favorite things to find out here. The other thing to find are those blastoids. Kyle's already found one. I was flying my drone, and he found a really nice blastoid already. See if I can keep up with him. He's laughing. He knows I'm not going to keep up with him. On my hands and knees, just looking at all this little tiny gravel. So this is a modern shell. That's a zebra mussel. They're an invasive species. It's really bad in the Great Lakes. But in amongst those, you find there's a crinoid stem. See what else we can see in here. Little stuff in there. That little mesh looking stuff are called bryozoans. There's a crinoid stem right there. Right there. What's that? Just a rock. Here's more rhizome. Here's a nice little crinoid stem. When I first came to this beach, I remember coming here with my kids and we didn't know what those were. We thought they were fossilized bolts. We were pretty sure there wasn't such a thing as fossilized bolts, but that's what we were calling them. There's a rhizome. Well, Kyle has already found 2 blastoids, which is one of the top things I want to find.
Nice ones.
Very nice ones. I've got one like that at home.
The size is really nice on these. That's great.
There's a couple different, at least 2 species. I've got big ones. There's also ones that are only like a 1/4 inch long, which I can never seem to find because they're only a 1/4 inch long, but those are very nice ones.
There's another bigger species here too that I found a few years ago. Big chunk of one.
Bigger than this?
Yeah, it's quite a bit bigger than these actually. So that would be fun to find loose, something like that. It may be the same species, maybe they just get larger, but I would have to look at that. But yeah, I'm very happy with those.
Those are nice. Congratulations. I was just looking down here at, here's a nice crinoid stem, or a big one I should say. I don't know if it's particularly nice. There's a more normal sized one. There's a big rhizome, but look at all the stuff in there. All kinds of critters in there. All right, I gotta find a prize. All right, so I just found a blastoid. It's not as big as Kyle's, but it was right here in the water. It was right there. Let me wash it off a little more because I haven't really done much with it. I just got the camera on as fast as possible. That's in pretty darn good shape. Kyle hasn't seen it yet.
Ooh, that's nice.
I don't care about the size. I care about the condition it's in. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's even got a little brachiopod piece attached.
Oh, does it? Yeah. I didn't even notice that.
Right there. Right. You have to zoom in close, but it's a little piece of the brachiopod shell on it.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, fun.
Sweet.
I will take that home with me. I don't usually take much home from here because I've seen this stuff enough that it's you know, most of it, those crinoid stems, they're a dime a dozen around here, but this isn't. Fun, fun, fun. Well, our beautiful weather is temporarily gone because it's raining. Got a raincoat in my backpack, but I don't feel like getting it out. I just picked up a couple crinoid stems here. I'm in this muddy area. This is all underwater like probably this time last year. The lake levels are way, way low. So this is stuff that probably hasn't been hunted as much. I mean, it's been hunted all summer, but so as soon as you turn on the camera, all the fossils usually disappear, but let's see what I can find. Oh, there's one. Try not to get my knees too muddy. A pretty thick crinoid stem. I don't know if I'll find anything other than crinoid stems, because that's what I've been finding right here. Very, very muddy. There's a little less muddy area. One of those rhizomes. There's a fairly big crinoid stem. Whoops, dropped it. One hiding down in here. Kyle was collecting a few of these. Oh, that's some sort of a coral, I think. There's a crinoid stem peeking out down there. It's not very big. Muddy, muddy, muddy. Find any good stuff?
Nice stems.
That's about all I'm finding in this area.
There's a decent one right there.
What you got?
Nice little stem.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're recording too. Here's a few more.
Hello. Not bad.
Alright, hopefully this rain blows over pretty soon. We're heading toward that point, and kind of around that point just a little bit, you get a lot more stuff that looks like this. Just death plates with all kinds of little stuff in there. That stuff's fascinating. See if we can find something cool together. Oh, I thought it was a squished worm. It's a plant. Sometimes if you look underneath the rocks, it's not as scummy. So I take these big flat ones, and they're all kind of flat rocks along here, so they're not hard to find, and I flip them over like that and hope there's something fun underneath. So far I found nothing doing it that way, but it seems like a good strategy. So I'm going to keep doing it. See if I can pick that big one up. I don't know if it's going to be stuck. It looks pretty thin. And I always put them back the way I found them, so it doesn't look all messy. Don't see anything in there. Be nice if there wasn't all this scum on them. But that's just the way it is. If you see something really cool that I missed, please don't tell me about it, because it's just going to make me sad later. The rain has stopped. I picked up this thing. I've picked up a couple of them and I wasn't sure what it was. So I sent a text with a picture of it to Dr. Tony Swinehart, who's been in some of my videos, and asked him what it was, and he said it's a brachiopod. And he gave me a name for it, but I can't say it. So I'm just going to put it in text on the bottom of the screen, because that's the best I can do for you. Anyhow, that's what that is, if you find one of these and you're wondering. Speaking of Tony, he did a video with me a couple years ago where he went into great detail about how to identify different stuff that you might find around here. It was a really good video. I need to watch it again because I don't remember all the stuff he said, but I'll put a link to that at the end of the video. I highly recommend going to check that out. Yeah. Still looking for fossils, but what I just found was that. Isn't that fun? It's a crayfish, exoskeleton, I guess, but look how white it is. I've never seen one that white. Here's a few finds from recently. It's just some big crinoid stems, and then this piece that was kind of cool. And down the ground here, there's a few other neat little things. There's that crinoid stem with a fairly large side branch coming off it. And then this, which I think is pretty neat. And then over here, there's a brachiopod. See it peeking out there? Let's see what the rest of it looks like. It's a pretty nice one. Very complete. But I can find even better ones of those in other locations. I just found a couple things. First is a brachiopod. Looks pretty nice. And then Kyle came over because I told him what I thought I found, but is that a blastoid or not?
Well, it's a rock with a wing on it.
Is it really?
Making it look like a blastoid.
Oh, it looks completely different from over here. Well, darn. I saw it this way. Shoot.
Darn.
Oh, yeah, that's real funny. Real funny, Kyle.
Sorry I had to crush your dreams.
I wasn't sure. I looked at it and I thought, oh, that looks like a blastoid. And then I'm not really sure. Guess I should have looked at it from another perspective. I'll keep looking. Just picked up this thing off the ground, and it was just a weird shape. It's kind of round, like a crinoid calyx is, so that's why I picked it up, and then flat on this side. So I showed it to Kyle, and he pointed out these kind of things here. And certain types of calyxes have like these bumps around the edge, or little holes or something around the edge. I don't know what they are, what the function is, but I know what kind he's talking about because I have some of those at home. So he thinks it's just a really, really worn one. So I might take it home and just see if I can scrub it up a little bit, but if it's worn off, scrubbing is not going to help. So not a great find, but something worth looking at. We're being overrun by frogs. Kyle just took video of one, and then I just saw one, and the same time I saw one, he saw another one. I think that's a leopard frog, maybe. Look how pretty it is. Really bright colors. It's gonna jump, I can just tell. Here. All right, we're doing a dual clip here. I just found a crinoid calyx, well, part of one. So the other one that I showed you would be this kind. That's the little things around the outside. Do you know what those things are, Kyle?
I'm not sure what they're called. It's where the feeding arms would have been coming out, though.
Okay. I didn't even know what their function was. So, anyhow, that's the best one we found so far, which is not very good.
Yep. Just a partial. But at least it's a piece.
So down here, kind of around the point, there's a lot of little, or larger, I should say, flat rocks like this. And they're like almost all death plates. You can see a bunch of fossil stuff in there, just everywhere. Very fun fossils. Some are worn down more than others. See what the back looks like. There's stuff back there, but not as clear. And then some look like that, and you flip them over. Sometimes they're better on the back, sometimes they're not. See if we can find another cool one. That one's pretty cool. It's broken. Kyle just set one down kind of hard. Maybe that's the one he was looking at. Look at all the little crinoid discs everywhere. Sometimes I go up by the woods and I find some good ones up there. Let's go check that out. I'm walking past them and seeing them just all along here. It's where the shore would have been and the water's higher. Yeah, look at that. That one's good. That one's good. And they're pretty much all full of fossils. Like that stuff's more either worn or just smaller fossils. But then you go right next to it and you get something like that. They're kind of endless. You can see this whole area here is like this. The rain's starting again. I'm underneath some trees here, so it's not hitting me, but goes from a beautiful sunny day to little sprinkles for a few minutes. Still haven't pulled my raincoat out yet. Somebody made a stack. Oh, there's kind of a cool crinoid stem.
Oh, folks been busy.
Look at that. Rhizoan there.
That trilobite I found was up in this stuff.
Well, here he goes again, bragging about finding trilobites.
I don't know if it's going to happen ever again for me here.
Yeah, I've given up ages ago.
I've tried many times since then, and it's not happened again.
The one you found was embedded in rock?
Yep.
Like, okay, so it wasn't freestanding.
Yeah,
wasn't
but
loose.
Luckily it was a rock that big, and you know, half of it's the matrix, and the other little half is the trilobite.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I guess that's pretty dang rare here.
It is for me. So rare that it hasn't happened yet.
I've not heard of it happening often here among fossil hunters.
Now we're getting to the end of the beach. I don't like to hunt by the houses. There's banks there, and I don't think they'd like you poking around in their banks because they hold up their houses. But just notice the ground here is just covered in zebra mussel shells. Let's see what they sound like. Crunch. A lot of them right along here.
Wow.
And the rain's coming down again, but if the past is any indication, it's only going to last for a minute or two, and then it's going to be a nice day again. Here's a pretty cool death plate. I like that big crinoid stem. So much fun stuff in there. See, this is where these come from. The bedrock's not quite broken up here yet. There were probably layers on top of this that are up there. We were just looking on the bank. You can see a chunk came out right there. And this stuff is just scum on there. I might have to pull out the raincoat. I was trying to avoid it, but it's coming down pretty hard now. I've decided to do something I've never done before, and that's take one of these home and polish it. And the reason I haven't done that is because these fossils are like 3D. They're like sticking out of the rock. And I think if you polish them flat, they might not look all that great. And then there's not a ton of contrast between this and the matrix. So I don't know how much they're going to stand out. But since I've never tried it before and I've had people ask about it, I thought I'd take it home and give it a try. I decided only to polish the front of this because the back doesn't have quite as much stuff going on. It's also pretty concave right there, so it's going to take a lot of time to grind all this down so I can get into that spot. So let's take one last look at it before I start grinding and see if it turns out better or worse. All right, well, I'm really interested to hear what you think of this. So if you look closely, you can see that the fossil's polished better than the matrix did, which is kind of an interesting look. It's not all super shiny, but I don't know, it's interesting. The contrast is maybe a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. But in my head, what I'm thinking about is this one that I polished up. You maybe saw a short this summer I did, where I polished this one up. And it's just a lot better. It's shiny everywhere, which I like. The contrast is really good. And this one did not look very good to start with. Where this one, you had the 3D fossils. Now these, like this crinoid right here, is basically half of it ground off. So you're getting a cross section of it, where before the whole thing stuck out. So I liked how this looked before. I like how it looks now. This one, before it looked okay, but it looks really good after it's polished. So I just have this stuff in my mind all the time when I'm thinking about this, and I prefer this. So what do you... I found a little better crinoid calyx. I've already cheated and picked it up, so I know what I'm going to see. So there's the side I saw. And there you can see a little more of it. Not awesome, but it's...
That's pretty good.
The best one I've found so far.
Ooh, there's some nice detail on there.
Yeah, when it got cleaned up, it might look better. I didn't really notice the little bumps along the top. These little guys.
Yep, you got good detail there.
Yeah, I might take that one home. I left the other two on the beach.
Yeah, don't leave that one behind.
Just found another blastoid.
That's 2 each, isn't it?
It is. Yours might be bigger, but I don't really care about size as much as the quality. I hope that one's broken. Is that broken?
I don't think so.
No, it's just sort of squished.
That's nice.
Actually, that's pretty good.
Heck yeah.
Oh, well, I'll take that. What's the end look like?
Oh, there's a nice detail on there.
Alrighty, just sitting right here, right out in the open.
That's awesome.
Just found a coral. I don't know if that's a horn coral or something else. A little bit smaller than what you usually see. A little longer and skinnier, I guess.
Tube coral.
Tube coral?
Possibly. Capulet coral, we call it. Yep. More of a tube coral.
I'm not going to take that with me. If you want it, it's all yours.
Nah, it's all good. We'll leave it.
There it is. If anybody wants it, it's right there. Just digging around up here and found this bryozoan. That's pretty cool. Look at that one, Kyle.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Very nice. That's great.
Well, you guys are going to have to go check out Kyle's channel. So what can they expect over there besides lots of fossil hunting?
A lot of fossil hunting, a lot of antique bottle hunting, and various other treasure hunting type videos. Gems and minerals, rock cutting, a little bit of everything.
And then I'll also put a link to Tony's video here where he shows you how to identify fossils. I think you'll find that really helpful. So click on that one, and then afterwards go see Kyle's channel.
Perfect.